Hello and welcome back to Grid Down Prepping at Guns America Digest. If you haven't subscribed to the digest, you can do so at gunsamerica.com/digest. Today I am doing a very brief introduction to a book that I'm working on, and it's on retort canning. It's on turning food like these twice-baked potatoes. See, these guys that are just coming out of the oven, into what is essentially a military MRE, like this. Okay, this is one of the clear bags. There's 3 different kinds of bags that you can get. And I'm trying to get the book out, but it's kind of exciting. I'm interested to see if you guys could comment on this, because I'm going to tell you the basic methodology. Because of all the liabilities involved with canning, I've also canned whole chickens in these same bags. So the potential for this, and they're excellent. The chicken is fabulous. Potatoes are fabulous. I've made lasagnas. I've made shepherd's pie. They're all military MRE style. I have some of these now that have lasted months. But because of the liability involved with canning, I can't just put out the instructions on YouTube. I mean, I can tell you briefly for you to do your own experimentation with it. Is that one of the things is that you leave the weight on you put the weight on the canner from the very beginning. You compress the bags in your canning pot. There's basic things that you have to do, or the bags blow open at the side. The original bags for these, I can tell you, if you want to do some experimenting, I don't have a way for you to get these bags yet in the United States. I'm working on it, and by the time the book comes out, there'll be a whole kit for this, and there will be bags available. But if you want to try my basic methodology, VacuPack, VacuPack, I think, .com is where you can get the actual real gold bags. And I didn't get one for the video because I don't use the gold bags as much. They're very small. But he's the original source. His name is Tom, Thom. And his website right now is not up. You have to call him to get the bags. But he's the guy who has the original gold bags. I believe that the military use. They say food is fully cooked and must be refrigerated after opening right on the bag. He has them made. He has 1 million bags or something in stock. I spoke to him a couple weeks ago. His website right now is down. He can't get these bags. He doesn't have I have silver ones of these 130. These were made for 130C. So I have the clear ones and I have the silver ones. But I don't have a way for you to get them yet retail. But that's the basic methodology. These are pressure canned. For those of you guys who don't know anything about canning, this is not a place you want to go. Okay? Your bags are going to blow open. Your food's going to spoil. It's all going to be wasted. But for those of you who are experienced canners, and as soon as you saw what I was doing, you got it. You understood what I'm doing. Go buy some bags from Tom, just like I did, and go do your own experimenting using my basic methodology. The food storage component of this, it's very important that you review my prior video on how I mylar and putting away grains, just like Joseph in the Bible, who stored up 7 years of grains for 7 years of famine. Your primary food storage should be grains. It should be flour, rice, beans, pasta, all the stuff, sugar, all that stuff that I've been telling you all along. But if you want to make food that you can just take out and eat, or take out and warm it, it's always a good idea to warm canned food to 185 for 5 minutes, because it kills all the botulism toxin that would be in it if your botulism bacteria was active. you really should always heat canned food when you especially home canned food when you eat it. But in a battle situation, if you're going, I mean, we just saw in Canada with the truckers, if these guys had this kind of food, they would have been in a lot better shape. And you can make a ton of this food now. That's what this kind of canning is for. I don't think you want shelves of this kind of food. If you can afford it, you have the time for it, you have the place for it, great. Go get some bags from Tom, do your experimenting. You do have to, get some of these compression discs and these steaming discs in between. I'm also using a heavy stainless steel plate on top because the discs do tend to bend upwards from the pressure, but leaving the weight on the canner instead of venting the air like we normally would do with canning. If you leave the weight on from the very beginning, you tend to have much less failures, but they are prone to failures. And the last thing I'll tell you is that everything canned this way has to go into quarantine. I do not put it with regular storage food. I do not put it with anything. In fact, I got Sterlite plastic bins that have a seal around the edge, and I quarantine them in these bins so that the ones that fail, if they explode, if there's a little seam that I missed that blew out a little bit, which, because you see they crinkle up, they crinkle up, and because you're vacuum packing, I should also say you do need a vacuum packer. SB Hardware will have some vacuum packers. There are some vacuum packers, inexpensive ones on eBay. Tom sells one for $1,000 or something. But as you can see, they do crinkle up. And it can be hard to just, look at every little tiny wrinkle and seam to make sure that your bag didn't fail. So you have to quarantine them and quarantine them for a good couple months. That's what I do. That's what I have been doing. I put them in one of these sealed containers inside, not outside. And if one of the bags is going to blow up and leak all the stuff, it won't get the maggots. Somehow the bugs still get in there. I don't know. You will have some failures. That's my point, is that you will have failures. It's best to try to find your failures right away. Like, keep them right under your nose for a few days. See if your bags lose their vacuum. That's usually a good indicator. But sometimes because the bags all blow up in the canner together, because there's liquid inside of them, they do blow up. And because of that, you can even with an hour or even 60, 70, 80, 90 minute canning time, sometimes you'll have a bag that was in the middle that didn't get completely sterilized, and it will blow up itself and turn into a balloon. Those usually don't blow up. But the ones where the side blew out a little bit, those usually you're going to see it lose its vacuum within a few days. And then you can just eat the food or recan it or whatever, and it's fine because inside the bag is sterile. I just ate a chicken the other day, in fact, that failed in this batch. The inside of the bag is sterile, so it's not going to get botulism right away. And of course, I still heated it. I still stuck it in a pot of boiling water and boiled it for 20 minutes so that the whole chicken was heated through, and the botulism toxin, if it was in there, would have been killed. These are just simple things that you can do if you feel like experimenting with my methodology. I'm going to do a book, God willing, with recipes and all kinds of other great information that I've figured out, experiments that I've done that have failed, in case you want to do those things. So we'll see you next time.